That's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean, it's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. So wie wir uns damals im ersten Teil gedacht haben, nee, im zweiten Fall gedacht haben, mit Maya. Wo Maya angeklagt war und Mia gestorben ist. So, ja, übrigens, ich habe hier so einen neuen Autopsiebericht. Warum? In dem steht übrigens, dass sie noch ein bisschen weiter gelebt hat und den Namen hätte schreiben können. Warum? Warum nicht? Edgeworth. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. And the permanent picture? What did you see? Crime. The rhyme? Rhyme. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl? Dass der Stromausfall da war. Damit sie nichts gesehen hat. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies. Oh. And find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge it with any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. That's ziemlich dumm. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Warum machst du eigentlich mal nicht an einem Seiyu-Synchro-Wettbewerb mit? Es gibt Synchro-Wettbewerbe? Nie davon gehört. Ich habe an einem Synchro-Workshop teilgenommen. Das war ganz spaßig auf der Konichi vor ein paar Jahren. Because the detective offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Ach so, also ist er raus, in den Aufzug rein und dann, alles klar. Man läuft ja nicht zum Haupteingang, naja, zum Haupteingang war auch ziemlich doof, aber irgendwo hin, wo es rausgeht, vielleicht. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly, didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. Ach so. Hast du mir nicht erzählt. Stand das irgendwo? Nicht sicher. Kannst du sogar TV-Anime-Rollen bekommen. Ja, aber dafür muss sie dann wieder nach München oder Berlin oder sowas, nicht wahr? Weil da die Synchronstudios sind. Ich glaube, in Düsseldorf haben wir keins. Schön wär's. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. Moment, wir schauen nochmal in die Akte und gucken mal, ob er nicht einfach nur doof war. Nein, ich glaube, die waren da nur. Head Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, Witnesses Lana Sky und Emma Sky, Executive Investigators Damon Gant und Lana Sky. Also da steht nicht, dass sie Prosecutor war. Demnach, schlecht gelesen. Ich will auch nach Düsseldorf. Tja, Zugticket holen und drüber. Oder mit Fernbus, das ist günstiger. Aber bei uns ist die halbe Stadt ist offen. Es ist gerade nicht sehr schön hier. Also an deiner Stelle würde ich noch ein paar Jahre warten. Bis die Wehrhahnlinie fertig ist. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Vom Detective zum Chief Prosecutor? Einfach so, nicht mal zwischendurch Prosecutor sein? Funktioniert das so? Ich weiß nicht. Sounds fishy. Ich bin 20. Geht doch. Kann man doch machen. Ich kann nicht warten. Ach so. Ah ja. Ja, dann musst du halt in die Baustellenstadt. Ich warte, bin ich zu alt. Für Düsseldorf? Ja, wo die das Durchschnittsalter ist gefühlt 40. Ah, das passt schon. 30 und Geld haben. Das ist so der Durchschnitt gefühlt. Zumindest wenn du über die Kühe läufst. Lana used to be a detective? Yeah. I'd better have another talk with her. Okay, dann auch zum Detention Center, würde ich sagen. Wenn sie da ist. Aperture? Veggie? Achso, ja, ich bin auch da. Aber mich findet man nicht so leicht. Wie die Kühe zum Beispiel. Und ich gehöre auch nicht 23 und arm. Genau. Ich gehe nur über die Kühe zum Saturn. Der hat da mehr Auswahl als in Flingern. Lana. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? We're on the right side, so we probably should, keep it right. But, Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. So wie Edgeworth. Das ist eine blöde Frage. Als was arbeitest du so in dem Studium? Nichts. Ich würde gern. Ich habe aber noch nicht so wirklich... Ich wohne noch zu Hause, deshalb. Das kann ich mir leisten, hier zu wohnen. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana. Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. Ich dachte schon, du kommst irgendwie an Geld oder so. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? Jetzt sagt sie einfach nein und geht. I suppose you have the right to know, Mr. Wright. Na dann. Today's trial. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen. I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. In my trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the matter of fact is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana! I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, it doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before.
Musik so.
It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. Oh. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Achso, er war der Prosecutor, sie der Detective. Ah ja. Chief Gant. Then he was the vice head of criminal affairs, but he still worked the crime scenes. Achso. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. Achso. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Nicht filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could later use that experience in court. Gant's help in the SL9 case was critical in its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Yeah, the dark investigation. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the chief detective was, no doubt, Damon Gant. Yes. Detective Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. Das heißt, eventuell hätte Damon Gant eigentlich sterben sollen. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jack Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for the questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when the last murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us? Detective Gant and Prosecutor Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages when Dark must have panicked. He waited until Gant and Marshall let the guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Detective Gant and myself. Achso, okay, wenn da war, dann muss ihn nicht umbringen. Alles klar, ist einfach nur geflohen. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filling some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. Was? 3? Was passiert? 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. Ach so. Warum? During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. Ah, praktisch. What did you do? To be honest,